constantly feeling like it's not enough. And it is so sad because a part of not feeling fulfilled, we feel that we're so ungrateful because there are so many beautiful things that we have in life. But how is it that I feel that I should go and find something else? And when I find that thing, I'll finally be happy. If I already have all these things, if I already have these people around in my life, and it seems like I cannot enjoy it. I spent around 10 years as a consultant, and I started working for a very important firm that is very well known around the world. And one of the things that made me leave that place was looking at the people around me and seeing that even when they had achieved exactly what I thought was success, I did not want the lifestyle, the life that they had. And so I entered an spiritual quest and I started to travel the world. And I visited so many countries in South America, in the Philippines. I lived in Europe. And still, I found so many people that were deeply connected spiritually, but there was something else missing in the way that they lived their life. It seemed like the healing aspect had become an identity. So, throughout my life and through the things that I see with my clients, there's this constant topic. I feel there's always something missing. I feel every single time I think I'm finally going to be happy, I find myself looking for the next thing to achieve and going after that. And apart from that, I feel so guilty for feeling disconnected from the things that are already around me. I feel guilty because should I have this desire to want more? Is it okay for me to desire what I desire? Is it that I'm being ungrateful? Is it that I'm wanting so much more and I'm not being appreciative of what I have? And the reality is that for most people, we learned that our sense of value and our sense of worthiness was connected with the things that we achieved. So, if every single time as a child you receive some type of love or you were receive a prize when you achieve something in school, when you achieve something in your work, then there is this dopamine system, a reward system that is running through your nervous system that is telling you always that there's a peak of emotion every single time you go and achieve something. There is this reassurance of I'm worthy, I'm valuable, and a big trait of people that go through this is that they become perfectionists because the closer they are to that ideal self, the better they're going to behave, the more that they're going to be accepted in life. And the tricky thing is that, as I always share with you, and as I share with my students, everything starts in the body. And we're closer to machines than we would like to admit. Your biochemistry learned to connect the dopamine that you're feeling every time that you achieve something with the oxytocin that you receive after somebody recognize you for doing that thing. So that reward system goes in the way I want to feel accepted, I want to feel valuable, and my value is a reflection of the things that I do. Therefore, I'm going to go for the next thing. I'm going to go achieve something else so that I can find that recognition. The dopamine turns you into an addict. You become addicted to the race. You become addicted to the win. You become addicted to the potential. That gap between who you are today and the potential of who you are when you can achieve those things is something that never closes. Because a perfectionist has the idea that whenever I'm perfect, then I'm going to be worthy of love. And the reality is that if you are in a state of perfection, that means that you're not growing anymore. The person that is constantly evolving is the one that knows I'm totally imperfect, so I'm constantly growing and I'm going for something else because I'm curious to know who's the person that I can become. But for the perfectionist and the person that learn that their worthiness is attached to that what they do, is a constant mm, ah, like this constant and painful race to go for something else. Never happy. This is something that I can assure you that I experienced it myself. I thought, well, when I have this job at this consulting firm, then I'm going to be happy. Well, no, when I have this relationship, then I'm going to be happy. When I live in this other country, then I'm going to be happy. And it's because I haven't become the version of me that can start her own business, because when I do that, then I'm going to be happy. And I can assure you that's never going to happy. That's never going to happen because you have connected your value to something outside of yourself. The second in which we disconnect that and we go within just as I was sharing with you, we change the biochemistry, we change that dopamine and oxytocin circuit that you have built throughout your life. The second in which we shift that and we go within in the meditation and in your routine, we find the oxytocin and the connection to your worth and to your value that you are seeking out there. So most of people think that we go into meditation to look for the things that we need to change about ourselves. Most of people start a routine in the gym, start a self growth development so that they can shift these things that they have and they think that are keeping them from that potential. But the reality, if you want to live fulfilled, if you want to feel connected, we go into those states so that you can experience heaven on earth. And what is heaven on earth? The moment in which your oxytocin, your endorphins, your dopamine, like a good, healthy dopamine, it's all connected because you enter a theta frequency. That type of a state. The beta state is when you're always looking for the next thing. Theta state is the state in which you find acceptance for yourself, you love yourself for who you are, and you observe all of your traits as worthy as you were when you were a baby. When you're a baby, nobody's telling you, well, I'm going to hug the baby the moment in which he starts crawling. I'm going to feed the baby when he says the first word. And that's why you were so capable of standing up and falling and going and trying new things, because you knew that feeling of safety and that feeling of being loved and accepted wasn't tied to the things that you were doing. Here is the paradox. Here's the deepest connection. The more imperfect you allow yourself to be, the more you're going to take action, because the gap between the idea and the action is reduced. And the more that you allow yourself to fail and make mistakes, the more success is going to come to you. But by the time that we do that, we don't even need that type of success, because every single day we are experiencing that heaven on earth through the exercise. We're not doing it to change our body. We're doing it because it connects us with our system. We're doing it because it feels so delicious when you're doing the movement. You feel alive. It is not to punish your body, it is to be grateful to your body. When we do the meditation, we're not doing it so that we can change something in our brain. We're doing it as a to enter to a state of connection and devotion with ourselves. When we're doing self-development, when we're doing personal brand, when we're starting our businesses, we are not doing it because it's an obligation and this is the person that I should become because this is my potential. I am doing this and I'm sharing this message with you because this is self development. Because I enjoy so much seeing the videos that I used to do months ago. Because as I'm sharing with you, I'm also connecting and organizing the ideas in my brain. So that is the difference between changing the value and self perception from something external to something internal. It changes. This is the only moment where you're going to feel truly fulfilled, in love with life. When you're going to allow yourself to desire what you desire. Because here's the thing, the problem is not that you're desiring something else. and that's making you ungrateful. We're life, right? And this is the type of things that honestly, a while ago, I wouldn't allow myself. I will cut this video and do something else because I was so obsessed with doing things perfectly, with trying to be a version of myself that was worthy of admiration, that would reach that level of love I could receive from the people around me. But the way in which it has changed is that in my imperfection, I have found place for miracles. I have found place for growth. I have found place for God. And it is what I experience when I go in deep states and altered states of mind. I feel a sense of connection to life that never in my life I have experienced before. I see so many people that have incredible businesses, people that have the most beautiful families, and when they come to me, they feel embarrassed because they don't feel like they are appreciating them enough. And I want to let you know that the moment in which you find appreciation for yourself, you realize that the best gift that you can give to them is to be in love with the person that you are now. From that place, when you're in love with someone, you want the best for them. When you're in love with someone, you are curious about what they like, about the way that they act. And that's the same that's going to happen with you when you allow yourself to enter these spaces. I used to be the person that, even though I desired and wanted so much, I felt guilty and I felt shameful for desiring all these things. Nowadays, I do desire them, but I know that I don't need them. I do want them because how delicious life can get when I can experience all these wonderful things. But I don't need them to feel connected. I know that the piece that was always missing was this creator sense of me. You can call it God, you can call it the divine, you can call it the universe, you can call it self love. It is when you find your purpose on this earth that it is to be a creator, and not only a creator through the things and services and products that you give to others, a creator in the sense that you are creating a version of yourself you have never been before. And you do these things from a level of self-respect. So the way that we work is by changing all this pressure and changing all the ways of doing your motivational thing from strength and from hardship. We shift that into an state of pleasure. The state of pleasure is the closest you can be to the state of creation because something that is pleasant and the placenta that you come from, every single time that you connect with something pleasant, you connect with the placenta, the place where you were born from. And in that state, you can create unimaginable things. I mean, the levels of inspiration that come when me or my students we are in deep meditation, when we are in a full session in the gym of breath work and inspiration, when we're journaling and we're creating something different, it feels like you're giving an offering to life itself. So that's how it changes. It changes by you first accepting that this empty space you're feeling inside of you, you're never going to fulfill with anything around you. If anything, the moment in which you fulfill that with yourself, everything else is going to come just by the frequency. You become so magnetic that the things that it makes me laugh because it happens to me and it happens to my students that the things that we used to think that were so hard to achieve, when you start acting from a space of self-love and from the frequency, it just comes to you in the easiest way possible. Because again, you learn the harder that I try, the more that I deserve. And it's almost like always having this oh like this battle with yourself to be worthy of something, or almost like earning your way to life. And when you first accept that you not only have the right to want more, but it is your nature of being a creator, you recognize that the fact that you want more is never attached to who you are and your value as a human. You recognize that there are no mistakes in the universe, and that the fact that you're here, it's your singularity, is the gift that has been given to you, and you, instead of chasing something around you, you just start giving. The most abundant state is the most abundant person is the person that gives, and the poorest person is the person that takes away. And every single time that you are doing something just for the acceptance of somebody else, or just because you think you're going to reach a level of happiness or worthiness, and you're exchanging that attention of the people around you for the things that you do, you're acting from a place of lack. When you, I cannot describe, when you enter the frequency and you feel so freaking confident and you feel so good with yourself, you just want to give, you just want to share, you want to be a source of whatever it is that you can give to others, a source of inspiration. You want to be a permission slip for others to be themselves. And that level of authenticity is only found in the connection, through the routine, through the biochemistry. And to be honest, yes, you can go deep and find your patterns and see what happened when you were a child and what you're feeling this way, which is so powerful. I totally saw it since I was a kid, why I had this perfectionism, and I felt like there was always something missing, and I was like in this dopamine race to earn the love of my parents, because I was always the student number one, and they waited so long to have me. But there's a point in which that realization becomes a crutch and is not really helping you to turn things around. So from today, if you feel you want something else around you, I want you to write down, what are those things that you feel are going to make you happy? When is that time that's going to come that you feel it's going to make you fulfill? And write all those things down. And next to it, write down the emotion or the frequency, because you don't want the job. You want to feel admired, and you don't want to feel admired. You want to feel loved. And that is the frequency that you want to enter, because you don't want the car. You want to feel safe when you're driving, and that safety is the thing that you want, because you don't want the relationship. You want to feel accepted, you want to feel loved. And that is the thing that you're going, that is the frequency that you have put in an achievement. But the reality is, in that frequency, in that certainty, we can enter right now. And we can enter through deep meditation, and we can enter through your relationship with yourself. So once that you have all of those things, and you know the frequency, you're going to see, okay, how can I make myself feel safe today in whatever it is that you're doing? When you're driving, when you are taking a shower, how can I make myself feel loved as I'm making myself breakfast? And you will see that little by little, this thing that is missing was always your own recognition and your own love to self. I'm so happy for you to experience a level of success that doesn't need to come from burnout, a level of success that you can finally enjoy, that you feel connected to, a level of clarity of your value and your purpose in this life, a level of connection, a level of this state of being in love with life and being in love with yourself, which I wish for everybody, reminding that, remembering that there's a biochemistry working for you or working against you. And it is way easier than we imagine. It is way easier than we imagine. People feeling throughout the years like they needed to achieve something else to feel fulfilled, shifting their identity just like this from the field, and feeling that even though they are the only human they are going to be for the rest of of their lives, for the first time they are choosing themselves. Leave me in the comments if you have any questions. You can find me on Instagram at elizabethramirez.co. And all of these I teach in my mentorship. I have a one-on-one and I have a lot of topics around self-development, connection with yourself, spirituality and spiritual evolution in the era of AI, and especially rewiring your identity and hacking your own internet, your own inner technology. I totally feel you. I know what you're going through. I know that it is exhausting to be overthinking about these things all the time. I know that your nervous system doesn't feel safe. I know it is very hard to slow down when you have learned to always live in overdrive, but it is so possible and it is way easier than you imagine. You just have learned that you have to do everything the hard way. This is not the way that the vehicle that has brought you to this place is not taking you to a place where you can truly feel the fulfilled life that you have always imagined. So I'm looking forward to know more about you soon, and I enjoyed this time so much. Till the next one.